last year, we started this thing called Too Long Didn't Watch, where if you did not have 10, 11 hours in your day on Sundays to sit there and watch all of the games, 16 games, you would, at the very least, listen to this. We would give you just punchlines and we would fill you in around everything that happened of importance around the NFL. And that's exactly what we're about to do. Rapid fire, punchline style. Are you ready?
Let's get it. Ladies
Okay.
first.
How about that team from Denver? Finally, with a statement win. Often showed up, they delivered. They went from looking like a pebble to a boulder. Because, of course, I'm referring to that team from Denver adjacent. Boulder.
The Bucks beat the Lions despite 4.5 sacks from Aiden Hutchinson, which just proves 4.5 is a big, impressive number. But sometimes it doesn't get the job done.
The Chiefs survive the Bengals. Harrison Butker kicks the game winner, but more importantly to him, did half the audience watch it from the kitchen?
Elle, did you?
I did.
Wait, did you really?
I did.
Wait, that's actually hilarious.
I was finishing up dinner.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So the target audience reached, and target reached also for Butker, which was the back of the net through the uprights. The Vikings beat the 49ers, who reportedly tried to trade for Justin Jefferson, did the 49ers this offseason. Didn't happen, which proves the one you're with is purty enough.
Last week on First Take, after the Ravens lost to the Chiefs, I said, quote, "Don't panic, they'll be fine." After today, quote the Raven nevermore.
Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns in a win versus Dallas. That is a punch in the face and a kick to the that he can't get arrested for. Allegedly. Hey, he beat the Chargers. Allegedly.
Yet again, Aaron Rodgers looked a little immobile in the Jets win, but good news, baby got back, and leaning on them notched him that first win.
And the biggest winner, Hassan Reddick. We're not making light of any jokes or nothing, but JJ going down on the other side of that defensive line, Hassan Reddick probably just saw his stock go through the roof.
They 100% need him now. He has racked up about $8 million in fines for sitting out. So certainly that's going to feel like nothing once he gets his big deal. But man, especially because, again, Aaron Rodgers was able to really utilize his running backs today, and that worked for him. And it's a very small sample size. I understand that it's only been a couple of games, but he's only attempted 3 passes from outside the pocket. Every one of them was incomplete, and he only has completed 1 of 9 passes under pressure. Like, it is very clear that mobility is still an issue for this man. And once he starts facing some better defenses, they're really going to focus in. But I got to be honest with you, on the other side of this win for the Jets was a team that I could care less about. I don't give a damn about the Titans, but I am loving this budding animosity between Will Levis and his coach, Brian Callahan.
Oh, are they beefing?
Oh, dude. So Brian Callahan's the coach last week that basically said, in response to their implosion against the Bears, that if Will Levis had simply just, like, if they had just punted on first and 10 every single time, that essentially they would have won the game. That's what he said.
He said that? The coach said that?
The coach said that about his quarterback, that he still, was trusting in his evolution and growth. But he essentially was like, he imploded and cost us the game. And then today, he seemingly did the same thing where he was trying to, like, make too much happen. They were in the red zone, and then he fumbled the ball, and you can see his coach. And it doesn't take a lip reader to understand what he's saying. He looks at Will Levis and he goes, "What the are you doing?" Because yet again, he cost them points. Just these inexplicable decisions that he keeps making, trying to extend plays where there's just nothing there.
Damn.
And it's been really fun to watch for a team that I kind of could care less about, although, in an AFC South that doesn't look particularly strong, especially with the Ravens not looking the way that they are, could be a competitive division for the Titans should they turn it around and maybe take the ball out of Will Levis's hands.
Who needs enemies when you got people close in your circle like that?
100%.
Damn.
And we're, of course, all anticipating watching Stephen A. on First Take, like, troll the Cowboys. You say that it's still early and you're not panicking, but I think the problem is that Dak's downfield passing's not there yet. And again, the pride and joy of that team is the defense, or at least with
Mhm.
Mike Zimmer, they hoped that it would be. They bring in this genius to replace Dan Quinn, and like he's gonna. And after the Browns, who bounced back as well this week, so shout out to them. But I think, I think it just sort of underscored how bad the Browns are, that they were
Mhm.
able to largely hold that offense in check in what was a horrible game for Deshaun Watson. The Saints just listen, this is a team that last year down the stretch won 4 of their last 5 games.
Yeah.
Like,
They
the
got us.
only
They got offensive hitters.
Exactly. Once they got Derek Carr back and got a little bit of consistency, Alvin Kamara had a down year. He's been on fire, as you mentioned, in too long didn't watch. Like, the Saints almost made the postseason last year. They lost out because of some tiebreakers, but they would have been a postseason team as well. And they're looking like a formidable opponent, especially in a division where you've got the down Falcons, who are
Mhm.
playing the Eagles on Monday. We'll see if they can have some kind of miraculous statement win, but a Tampa Bay team that's looking really, really good and just took
Tampa
down the
Bay looks
Lions in a
good.
bit of a revenge game. Baker Mayfield looks great as well. Let me ask you this, Gary. If the Bucks, who were in the playoffs last year, if the Bucks can go on a little bit of a run, would you say that Baker Mayfield is one of the like greatest comeback story? Like, would you put him up there with like a Kurt Warner type of story in terms of someone being down bad and then turning it all around and having a really successful NFL career? Because that
It'll
man
never
was labeled a
Yeah, nah, he was a
bust.
write-off. He was a cast-off. I mean, he'll never be as down bad as Kurt Warner until he's stocking shelves and like throwing toilet paper, working the midnight shift. But he is certainly one of those quarterbacks, and actually, we've seen it. There's a couple of them in the league. Geno Smith being one of them is like a cast-off, a backup. All right, we gave you a shot as a first rounder, and you didn't pan out, and then you bounced back and like you had a rebirth. And Baker Mayfield was 100% that, and a lot of it tells me that it is where you're at. I mean, his last stop was Cleveland. That should say enough. And then you bounce Cleveland, all of a sudden you're in sunny Florida and you're the second coming. I'm not going to say TB12.
Yeah,
Damn,
please
he
don't
didn't
say
win a
that.
Super Bowl. But like all of a sudden you are the first round pick that everybody thought you would be in Cleveland. And then when you were a stopgap in Carolina, and then, oh yeah, he won a couple games out in LA, and now he's found a place in Tampa. They gave him the extension to show for it.
I think that maybe one of the most impressive things about Baker Mayfield, though, is that despite living in Florida full time, he's still that color. It's very, very hard to be that color in Tampa. But alas, he finds a way. I want to picture my Baker Mayfield when he's not, wearing his helmet, like having someone shield him from the sun with a little parasol or something like
Oh,
that,
yeah. Well, I think
wearing Shiseido.
people want to believe that he's probably just pale like I am right now because I can't figure out my lighting situation because he stays clocked in that film room, and you got to keep it dark in there.
Yeah, you guys, for those of you that are just listening via, a Spotify, this is just an audio show for you. I can't explain to you, most people as the show gets more popular and grows and gets bigger, which is we're so lucky that the Elle Duncan show's been able to do because of all of you who listen, who talk about it, who jeer and cheer, because we always pay attention to the
We love
people
them
that
both.
jeer. But there's a lot of people who show a lot of love and a lot of support. Those people exist too. Sometimes your detractors are louder, but we've got a lot of great supporters. But because of that, the show has gotten bigger and there's more eyeballs. And typically, that would inspire someone to improve their setup, to get a better camera, to get additional lighting. And for Gary, it's going backwards. I mean, at some point, he's just going to be coming to us from like a fax machine.
Elle, do you hear that?
What is it?
What? No, is that your oven going off? I think something needs tending to. I think it's time to wrap up this pot. Is something like is that your air fryer or something?
My kids need rearing, y'all. Someone's got to put them to bed, get their teeth brushed, change them into their clothes, and get their lunches made. So I'm going to have to go.
My kids need rearing. Oh my God.
Incredible. It's got to be tough. I've got some friends that are Chiefs fans, and I'm like, man, it's got to be hard. You want to win, but you got to win off that leg. Ugh.
Hey, winners win, man.